So we had lots of adventures with the boat. And but the first part of it was, how did we buy the boat?
This most recent boat, or
Our,
some old boat.
our catamaran that we had for years.
Yes.
So what I think happened was, when we lived back east, we had the Sunfish, the little Sunfish sailboat.
Mm-hmm.
And then we said we wanted to get a bigger boat. We wanted to go sailing. So when we moved to California, we needed to learn how to sail big boats. So I think we were living in San Mateo at the time. And
Boy, we went all over the place.
we
Not
said-
all the place, but
we went to a lot of places.
yes.
So we decided we wanted to take some sailing lessons and get our certification on how to sail like 30 or 40 foot boats. So we ended up going to Marina del Rey.
I remember that name
Mm-hmm.
totally.
That was down by Los Angeles. So we took 2 classes in a row down there. One was like basic sailing, and the other one was bareboat chartering and that sort of thing. So it was 2 weeks in a row. And this must have been just when we moved to California, because I remember that we had gotten so much sun over that 2 week period that I was incredibly tanned. And when they took my driver's license picture, I looked like a different person. I was so tanned. But we went down to Marina del Rey and we stayed on one of the sailboats while we were taking the lessons. So we spent 2 weeks at Marina del Rey, and we learned how to sail and also how to charter a boat. So that was like the first step. Do we really want to do this? So we did. We said we liked it. So we got back up to San Mateo, and just south of there was sort of like a sailing club that you pay a flat fee for a year, and you can take out the sailboats a day at a time in San Francisco Bay. So and they would take care of the maintenance and the cost of everything else, because we just pay that flat rate and we go out and go for a sail. And we enjoyed doing that. The only problem with some of that stuff was, I remember vaguely, is that the instrumentation was not that great. So it's like hard to tell exactly where you were. And San Francisco Bay is pretty shallow in some spots.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to be really careful. I think I ended up buying a GPS thing that would tell us where we were, and had a map in part of it. So we did that for a while. And also, I think it was like on Thursday nights, they had beer can races.
Well, I guess they came from someplace.
And what it was is just a bunch of guys. A bunch of guys would go out sailing after work, and we weren't really serious sailors at that point, but we would drink beer and go for a sail on San Francisco Bay. And for some reason, you let me do it. So
I let you do it?
You let me do it. We went with the guys, and we did that.
What is 3? Oh, okay.
So as I said, we would go, I think it was Thursday nights after dinner. Me and a bunch of guys would go a 30 or 40 foot sail monohull, and sometimes we were just lazy. We wouldn't put up the mainsail. It was like too much trouble. We'd just put up the whatever. I can't remember the name of the sail. The foresail. You just unfurl it and just drift around San Francisco Bay. which was sort of fun. The problem I had was that at the time, my left knee was bothering me. So every time the boat would heel, it would put pressure on my left leg. And it would be, I would end up coming home every time we would go sailing, having to take Tylenol or Advil because it bothered me so much.
This is at the same time you're talking
In
about.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
So we discovered that catamarans didn't heel as much and didn't tip. So we said maybe we should get a catamaran. So we decided to do a crude charter up in British Columbia,
Mm-hmm.
so we could see what this catamaran thing is all about. So we, I think we flew or drove, I don't remember how. We got up to Seattle. And
Yeah,
we were-
that's the way to go.
yeah, so we were supposed to go to Seattle and go on this charter.
Mm-hmm.
And as part of the charter, the captain was a certified instructor for American Sailing Association certification for sailing catamarans. So as part of our little cruise up from Seattle up into British Columbia, he taught us how to sail a catamaran.
Oh, how sweet.
It was nice. So, and it was just sort of weird because his wife liked to sleep in in the mornings, and he wouldn't leave until she got up. So we would get up in the morning, and we were bright and early in the morning, and we would be waiting until she got up so that we could start sailing for the day. So it was sort of weird.
Yes, I don't think I recall that at all, so I guess I finally figured it out from what you're saying. Yeah.
So, but the problem that we saw, because it was a 40-foot catamaran with a 24-foot beam. It was a pretty big catamaran. So the problem was, it was so big that it wouldn't fit into any of the marinas we went to. So
They weren't satisfied with it.
no, the boat was too big.
Oh, okay.
So we ended up anchoring out. And it was wonderful places to anchor out. So we had a good time with that. And we learned how to sail the catamarans. And then we decided that we wanted to buy one. So then what's the question is, where would we buy a catamaran? So we spent the next 2 years looking for the right kind of catamaran for us. So we went to the boat show in Boston.
Yeah, they occur in
Yeah.
certain, but
And then we went to the boat show in Long Beach, California.
yeah,
And then we went to the boat show in Miami. And strangely enough, I remember this.
I do too.
Yeah. Well, what I remember mostly is that I fell in the water
Oh,
off one of the docks, and I ruined my passport. So I had to get my passport renewed, and I forgot how it cost. It was expensive to get a new passport. And then so every one of these boat shows, we would look at catamarans and say, this is big or this is too small, whatever it was. And I ended up, since I was traveling a bit, I was traveling in Asia, and I was flying from Singapore to Sydney, Australia.
Mm-hmm. Just around the corner, after all.
Just around the corner. And I was flying business class, and it was a horrible flight. It was a night flight, because there was this crying baby in front of me.
Crying baby. Okay.
And so I didn't get a lot of sleep. But the saving grace was that when we're coming into Sydney, the pilot comes on the intercom or the PA system, and he says, the weather in Sydney is really wonderful, and it's going to be a beautiful day for the Sydney Boat Show. And I didn't even know that it was going to be a Sydney Boat Show. So we got in there, I had a couple of cups of coffee, and went to the Sydney Boat Show. And the craziest thing about it was that this one company made custom catamarans in South Africa.
Oh my! And you didn't want to go there and find out about how he did it?
They really wanted to build us a boat to our specifications. And then I said, well, how do we get it back? And they said, oh, you have to sail it home from South Africa, across the Atlantic Ocean. I said, no, whatever. So somehow we ended up deciding to get a Gemini catamaran. And that was our search to find a Gemini catamaran. So we ended up, there was one that was for sale up in Plattsburgh, but I don't know what happened with that.
I recall that.
Uh-huh.
The fact that that's what we were looking at all the time.
Because the other catamarans were too big for us. They were like,
yeah, they
38.
tend to go
They're
and
huge.
spend lots and lots of space.
So we decided we wanted to get a Gemini catamaran, and we started doing a search for that. And we found a Gemini catamaran for sale in California while we were there. That was perfect for just what we were looking for. It was 34 feet long. I think it was a 15-foot beam.
Mm-hmm.
And it had, 3 cabins and 1 head, nice galley and fridge and everything. And it was just perfect. So we ended up buying that boat down in Long Beach, California. And they wanted to put the boat, to show the boat off at the boat show.
Yes.
And they paid us $5,000 to let them use our boat at the boat show.
They did?
Yeah, they did. $5,000, $5,000. So it was a nice discount.
We got that.
And then, since we were in San Francisco and this was down in Long Beach, we got someone to sail the boat up to San Francisco. Actually, we sailed the boat up to Half Moon Bay. And then we met the skipper in our boat, and we sailed from Half Moon Bay into San Francisco Bay and back to our place down by San Mateo. And that's really the saga of buying the boat and then